Hello, YouTube. How are you? It's me and you on Monday night. Well, live is Monday night. Maybe you're watching this after the fact, but sorry it took me a while to get it going. Technical difficulties. We're all good. My computer's telling me some mean things. So it's Monday night. I'm Deborah Hanlon. We do this every Monday night where I join you on YouTube and Facebook. And we just kind of talk. This is our time to ask kind of generalized questions about intuition, questions about insight and how we work and how we can better approach our own living. So it's not about personal intuitive questions, which is usually when I see people go, oh, she's not taking personal intuitive questions. Screw this, I'm leaving, which is fine. You can do that, but then you learn nothing. You learn nothing for yourself. So I personally recommend you sticking around to maybe learn something versus wait for me to answer your intuitive questions, but it's up to you. So hello, let me see who's on. For those of you who are tuning in on YouTube, let me know that you're here. Tell us where you're tuning in from and if this is your first time, because I always like to see where around the country we are all watching. And if it's your first time, I like to give you a shout out. And speaking of shout out, John, he knows who he is. I'm giving him a shout out. I know he told me this afternoon that he listens to me every Tuesday morning because he works late, or he's up early, I should say. So he's sleeping right now, or should be. And he's up early, but yet he listens to the show every single Tuesday morning. So shout out to John. Thank you for tuning in on Tuesday mornings. I love that. So, everyone's saying I look especially pretty tonight. Hold on. What? That's all I care about. Who cares about intuitive guidance? You guys said I look good. What? Let's see. Let me look at your responses. Hello, Carrie. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Sharon. You're released from quarantine for good behavior. Yeah, that's a bunch of bullshit. Sharon, we know you are not released for good behavior. Let's see. Hello, Maria. Hello, Tyler. Hello, Kai. So grateful to be here. Thank you for being here. Robin, you like my white top. I love turtlenecks. I don't know. I don't like the word turtlenecks, but I really love them. And anywhere I could find one, I buy them. Michelle and I were just talking shortly before this class or before this. I had a class right before this. I literally logged off that class at 8:29. But before that class started, Michelle said, "Oh my God, I like this." And I was like, "Yeah, I do too. But I have to make sure that the heat is off in our house because I'm getting to that point where I start sweating for no reason." So turtlenecks might be a thing of my past, so I'm going to wear them as long as I possibly can. You guys are saying I'm glowing? Oh my God. Well, I've noticed, let's see, this side. This little mark, it's probably just an age spot, which is really devastating. But we're all going to keep an eye on it together because I can see it really clearly here tonight. So it's either an age spot, which I will pretend to totally embrace, which I'm not, but I'll pretend I am, or it's cancer in the making. But we together will be watching it. Okay, you guys, you got that? Okay. So thank you for glowing. I'll take glowing. Hello, Carrie from New Jersey. Another Melissa. Hello, Doreen from Pittsburgh. Another one from Jersey. Hello, Teresa and Mike from Wappingers. Hello, Melanie. Tinkerbell says hi. Oh my God, I love little Aoife. Oh my God, she's the cutest thing ever, Amber. Hello, Kristen, right from Newburgh. Hello, Laura. Hello. The winter white background reminds me of the center. You look great. See this? This reminds me of the center because I don't have the center anymore, but I wanted the feel of the center. So this is exactly why I put this here. So Kathy is quarantining in Troy. Let's see. Martin, hello. Glad to see you. More to share about the indigenous artifacts. That was very cool. Michelle shared with me your photos, which is ridiculously cool. Hello, Cindy. And let's see. You personally, Melissa, learned a lot last week and came into play this week. So thank you. It was healing not for me, but for my family. That, Melissa, is exactly why we do this every Monday night. I love not, I love doing reading. No, I don't love doing readings. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. Readings serve one purpose. Let's put it that way. And me, the perfectionist, I put a lot of pressure on myself for every new session I ever do. New meaning new that day. I could have read you 12 times before, but the 13th time, I still want to be good and helpful and healing to you. So readings are very stressful to me for my own sense of perfectionism. And so I don't enjoy them because I'm putting so much pressure on myself, which I do also think why that, for the most part, my readings are good is because I put so much pressure on myself and I have to really be focused and tuned in, and I completely tune out the rest of my world, and I'm completely 110% with whoever I'm on the phone with. So it serves its purpose, but I don't enjoy that. I gotta be honest. I don't always enjoy that because I'm so intense. Like, let me be perfect. It's like Derek Jeter. He's got to hit a home run every time up at bat. It's not going to happen. I can't hit a home run. He can't hit a home run, but yet the pressure is there. This format, and anytime I'm teaching, whether it's the intuitive coaching workshops or any other workshops or my meditation groups that I do, I love that because while the pressure is on for me to teach in a way that you can understand the content, I love that type of pressure because I like to be challenged in that moment. And I like to help and be healing and be helpful in your healing. That's where my work is headed, is a bigger picture, I'm seeing people tuning in from California, North Carolina, Florida. I freaking love this. Pleasant Valley, New York, Saratoga, New York. I love it. Love Board of Elite. So thank you. Keep telling me where you're tuning in from. And share me, please. I'm no longer on the radio because of COVID, so I have no ability to reach large masses like I was, and that's fine. I truly believe and trust in the universe knows what it's doing. But I kind of do need you guys to share me. I know that sounds so desperate and disgusting, and I'm going to really work on that and reflect on that, but I do need you to share me with your people that you think will enjoy what I do. So I'm going to put that on you guys because I no longer have the ability to generate audiences like I used to, which is, like I said, it's fine. The universe knows what it's doing, but I also am going to lean more heavily on all of you across the country, across the globe, to go, hey, there's this woman. She's a little out there. No, don't say I'm out there, please. I'll die. I don't want to be weird. Don't put me in the weird category. Put me in the, yes, she's a little unhinged. You could do that. She's a little bit no filter. You could describe me as that. But my intention is to be real, to be authentic, because I believe the most healing is through our personal authenticity. That's it. If I'm going to fake my shit, that's stupid. I can't do it. But if I can be real and be myself and trust me, I am on here pretty real in myself and I like that, then I feel like, okay, that's what's healing. I always say that truth is higher than love. So truth meaning what's truthful within ourselves. Once we liberate our own personal truth, even though it's what maybe society says isn't right, truth is higher than love, then we can start the actual healing process, whatever the healing is, grief, emotional healing, mental healing, physical healing, whatever it is, truth is higher than love. So please share me, please. So tonight is all about that. It's all about just talking about our shit and being really human and not hiding our crap and being plugged in and knowing our own power and not knowing our own power, but wishing we were. That's what tonight's about. Sharon, I know. Sharon always says, I'm not a good sharer. I don't want to tell people about you because that means you're going to be busier and I'm not going to be available for you. And I get that and I love that. But please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm starting to see a decline in numbers. Well, that's not totally true either. I shouldn't say that. That's not true. My numbers are going up, bitches. All right. No, it's not that. It's that there's a part of me that I always still go back to. I think people hear medium, they think weird, and you're either on board with weird or you're not. And so I don't want to be in the category of medium. I don't want to be in the category of weird. I want to be in the category of let me help you get your shit fixed. I don't know what category that is. I don't know what to call it. I don't have a title. I don't have a role that's good for that, but that is my intention. Let me just help you get your shit fixed. Some of it I can't fix. Like if you, what could I not fix? Well, I can't fix anything you're going to deny, but if you're listening to me this far, you're not in that category. I don't want to deal with anyone who is engaged in pedophilia. Like I don't, even if you're sincerely hoping to heal from that, I don't want to help that. I judge harshly on that. That's my judging line. I'm sorry, and I'm terribly, terribly sorry for saying that if you have that, but I don't give a fuck about you. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? And so everybody else who says, hey, something doesn't feel right, or I'm doing this in my life, or I'm stuck here, not quite sure where to go, that's the stuff I want to help you with. Got it? Yeah. The shit whisperer. Shut up, Maria. Shut up. I think we found a title. I am the shit whisperer. I'm just feeling it. Hold on, you guys. Am I the shit whisperer? Why do I resonate with that? I should be the bajillionaire whisperer. Come give me bajillions of dollars so that I can retire on an island and get personal trainers and have chefs feed me healthy shit all day. And I'm gonna be that whisperer, but that's not who I'm. I want that, but I'm not going to be that. Greg and I were talking about my market recently. And he was kind of talking about like, you got to bring yourself to like a really super wealthy market. We got to get you into a wealthy market. And I sat back. I go, I don't want those fuckers. I don't want them. They have a ton of money. Go pay Tony Robbins. I don't want them. I want the average American person struggling with real life problems, which I'm not saying the billionaires don't have real life problems. You do, but you also have the money to handle your real life problems. And so I'm in a conundrum there because work-wise, I should be plugging my way to the wealthy, but I don't want to. I really don't. I don't. I don't really feel like I can relate to someone that's like, I'm so upset. I don't know what car to take today. Like, I can't. Pedophiles and people who are stressed out as to what car they should be driving are not my people. People who are like, I'm trying really hard. I'm totally screwed up. I really want to be a good person. I don't know what to do, even though I do know what to do. Help. I want those people. I really do want those people. Everyone else, I don't know. I'm a best guarded secret. Thank you. I'm a natural teacher. Thank you. Oh, don't forget to, thank you, Greg. Greg is saying put thumbs up, click like, click subscribe because it's numbers. I really want big advertisers to pay me instead of people. That's truly it. I don't want people's money. I want big companies' money. I want their money so that I'm like, hey guys, let's sit, let's chat. I don't have to charge you for shit. That's what I want to do. I don't want the wealthy. I just want the big companies. What category am I in? I'm not in a category. We can't find me. I'm a shit whisperer category. Intuition coach. Absolutely. Tisha, good to see you here. Donna, you're very happy with the way we fixed my shit. Me too. Me too. These success stories and these people, like all of you who are like, oh my God, I thought my world was ending. I love, truly grateful that you guys show up for me in that time. You're vulnerable with me in that time. And I'm like, okay, I got something for you. I got you. I got you. I know this. I know life. I know how shitty it can be. I know how powerful you are. And let me get you back in alignment with yourself so that you don't need mediums or even therapists and coaches. And I am all about therapists and coaches. I think we should all have one on speed dial, but I don't want you to feel unempowered. So my job is the empowered shit whisperer. I don't know. Let's see. The more, Amber saying, the more you share, Deborah, the more you will find like-minded people, enhance your heavenly human experience on earth. More is more. My heavenly human experience. I know a lot of people in my life who will strongly disagree with that discussion, that label. And that makes me giggle. The people who disagree with that. So thank you. You love how down to earth I am, Sharon. I don't have to protect real. That's what it is. I don't have to guard it. I don't have to protect it. I don't have to like put on a face. It's so nice. It's so nice. I don't have a mask. It's like, well, I wear a mask every day. That's not, I don't mean that, you guys. It's not getting that to be. I mean, like, I don't have to like pretend like, ooh, it's all flowers and fuzzy fairies every day. Cause sometimes I'm like, no. It's fucking not. It's not at all. This is a shit show. And I think we connect with that more. I do. Amber, if you're the shit whisperer, G is the belch beholder. We will talk about that in a moment. Maria, I always taught the so-called tough kids. I related. You need to teach those you relate to. That's exactly it. I can't relate to someone who has unlimited resources. I can't. I never had it. I just feel like, you'll take my advice and then you'll go pay 4,000 other people to tell you the same shit. And I don't, that's exactly it. I want to relate to people who I can relate to. The very average, normal, everyday people that are struggling within ourselves that want to do better, but we just don't know how. That's who I want. And on that note, when people say like, I can't afford a one-on-one, I get it. My one-on-one individual sessions are not cheap. I don't think they're overvalued, and I might sound like an asshole for saying that. I will give you content. I will give you advice. I will like intuitive advice. Insight is probably a better word than advice. I am not thinking I charge too much. I know I charge a lot. I don't think I charge too much. And yet I do know that's a pricey tag. So because I know a one-on-one is potentially very expensive for some people, I create tons of other experiences across the board that are much more doable, and they're equally as powerful. And I cannot talk about it enough. I talked about it last week of meditation, Sunday night meditation. It is $15 and even less if you sign up for the whole month. It's a monthly membership. You can do week by week, which is $15, or a monthly membership. It might not be a one-on-one with me, but it's pretty close. For those of you who attend, we do a guided meditation, and then we do this processing with your meditation and your process and who you are. And it's incredibly in depth. It's not just meditation. And so many people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. I can't meditate. I can't focus. And I'm like, just please try it. I just want a one-on-one with you. If you can't afford a one-on-one, or if you can't get a one-on-one because they do book up quickly, please don't ignore the hundreds of other opportunities that I create. This is one of them. This is a totally free one, that to help facilitate some sort of connection, to help get you connected to yourself. So my job is to just do just that. Facebook just went haywire. Hold on one moment, please. It's okay. Facebook is there. So I teach classes. I teach weekly meditation, which is not what you think it is. And I cannot express enough how often people are like, no, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, okay, it's a really good value though. So if you can't get a one-on-one, start with weekly meditation. Just saying it. Sunday night, 7:30 to like 9:30. That's 2 hours with me and maybe 10 other people, maybe 20 other people, although I have not had 20 people online in Zoom. So it's pretty one-to-one. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty one-to-one. And then all my classes and workshops. And I am going to start opening up times and dates for intuitive coaching one-on-one. I am going to announce this to my intuitive coaching group of 50 people that I've been working with for the last 12 weeks. They will get first pick on one-on-one sessions starting in late November, early December. What the hell is going on with Facebook? Hold on. This is one. I can't do two things at once, you guys. Approve all day. Reach my Facebook time limit. Apparently I put a limit on myself for Facebook and it was like 12 seconds. So one-to-one coaching opportunities will open up for end of November, December, January. The people who will get the first dibs on those one-to-one are the people who have been with me for the last 12 weeks doing the coaching courses. And then I'm opening up ETA, Energy Transformation Awareness, in January, which is super intense. I will only take somewhere between 10 and 14 people, depending on the makeup and the content of the group. For those classes, it's a super small group that we meet over 8 weeks over Zoom. Everything is over Zoom right now. And then on my other courses that I will interject throughout the calendar. So there's lots of times to meet with me. There's tons and tons of times. I want to help you. I want to. It's just I can't reach out to you and say, hey, do this. You need to reach out to me and say, what's this about? And start inquiring. Okay, let's see. So, all right, let me talk about Greg's burp last night. Sorry, Greg. I do meditation from our bedroom, which does make him not be able to come up to the bedroom to go to bed until we're done. And he does get up very early for work, and he would prefer to be in bed at 9 p.m. However, that doesn't happen because meditation's from 7:30 to about 9:30. And so he waits for me downstairs, which is incredibly kind and generous and loving and all of that, and I appreciate it. But last night during meditation, as I was doing it from Zoom, from our bedroom, I had multiple interruptions from the boys. I had Christopher coming to the door, knock, knock, knock. Mom, I want to ask, Mom. He's going, Mom. And here I am on a computer like, and take a deep breath in through your nose and out your mouth. And I'm hearing, Mom. He's waving by the door. So I give him, for those of you who attended meditation, you have the video of this and you will see it. I'm doing this. And breathe out through your mouth. And take another deep breath in through your nose. And I'm basically scolding him with my eyes silently while leading a meditation. Like, basically, I was saying, what in the actual are you asking me a question right now? I'm working. But no, 3 times he came in. I hope he's listening. 3 times he came in. One of the times he was asking me if he could use our hot tub, which is in our master bathroom, which I just ignored him and hoping that he would get the memo, which apparently he got the memo, which meant Mom didn't say no, I guess I can. So I then hear my hot tub and the jets getting filled and loud while I'm doing a meditation. So I've got that going on in my brain. And then I hear Ben, whose bathroom door and our door is very close to each other, and he is talking. He's brushing his teeth, which I'm like, at least he's brushing his teeth. These guys, for those of you little kids, eventually they brush their teeth on their own. You don't have to tell them. And he's talking and talking and playing music and whatever. And I'm texting him. I'm grabbing my phone now because I'm like trying to be like, can we be zen? I'm leading a freaking meditation class. And I'm like, could you be quiet? And he's like, oh, sorry, Mom, whatever. And he finally leaves. And then finally, after all these disruptions to my peaceful meditation class that I keep telling you all to join and you're not, and now you might, I hear the world's loudest, most disgusting, stupid burp from Greg, who is an entire flight of stairs below me. My door was closed. He's in the office. It's a whole flight. We have a very large home. And I could hear him. So that was the final straw of disruptions for me, where I'm like, are they freaking kidding me? Like, I'm working. Like, this is my actual work. I'm leading people on a peaceful journey to the heart and soul of themselves. And yet they're hearing jets running in the background, Ben flushing a toilet, talking on the phone, playing music, and then the grand finale of Greg's burp. So I grab my phone and I am pissed, right? Because I'm like, is anything sacred in this house? And I text Greg like, hello, oh my God, burp. Like, could you please be aware that maybe that might have been a little too many decibels loud, like astronauts heard you, and now it's on recording. So I keep going through meditation. I'm texting Greg basically saying, could you please shut the fuck up right now? Stop. I'm trying to look like I'm a normal human being and I've got my shit together. And I've got kids interrupting me and you burping downstairs. And then finally at the end of the meditation, we talked, we went over everything. We had a really deep meditation. I said, I apologize for any of the distractions you may have heard. I don't know if you've heard Greg's burp. And they all did. They all had heard it. Oh my God, we heard that. And I'm like, I'm going to die now. I'm going to die because I try to be professional. And there's just no words on that. I couldn't make this shit up if I tried, you guys. So that is a true story. So basically, what is the lesson in that? Life is not perfect and you just have to roll with the punches. But yeah, right. Our insides are torn up in the meantime. Pretty disgusting. And let me tell you, I was raised with my mother. It was just my mother and I. And then I had a sister who's several years older. She really wasn't in the house or much that I remember her being in the house. But I was raised with females. And I don't know about you females, but I wasn't raised to just let out belches at any point. I just wasn't. It just wasn't a thing that was happening in my house. And then I had sons and I went, the universe is trying to show me the other side of energies. I had a lot of female energy in my early years and now I have all male energy. And so I got comfortable with burps and other bodily noises because boys make them all the time and think it's funny. And I thought, okay, the universe is trying to put me in balance. And what I learned from that is, no, I'm not in balance. I don't like loud loud belches, nor do I like loud noises from any parts of our body that are on display. And I especially don't like them during meditation while I'm teaching and trying to be whatever. So that you're missing that, you guys. Like if you have a lot of boys in your life or if you don't and you want to see that aspect, that's another, that's another thing that you're going to get from meditation. You're going to get horrible, disgusting stuff. So anyway, this is true. I couldn't make it up. I think you guys will probably want to get the clip of that just so you could hear all the distractions, see my face doing this, like the whole like, get out. Why are you asking me questions while I'm working? Yeah. Greg is writing, I guess that's why we have a studio for sound in the basement. So his argument is that, hey, Deb, we built you a studio so that you could work in the basement so I could lay in my bed at night. And he would be accurate, except that I'm the boss and I don't want to always work out of the studio. I'm in the studio now I only do the studio for you too. But you're right. You're right. But you're not going to win that. One, stop burping. Stop burping. That's all I say. Ah, my God. Hell, what in the actual? Lock them all out when I'm working. I actually will do that next time. I'm not kidding. I'm going to lock my bedroom door anytime I'm working because apparently 7 months of quarantine, they have not gotten the memo that I actually am working. I'm not just playing with my computer and I'm not just talking to a lot of my friends on the phone. I have like focus. And thank you, Amber. Sharon, you were raised in a house with 13 other kids. Your parents had 14. Stop it. How did they do it? 14 children. I'm trying to feel my way as if I'm one of the kids, one of 14. What that must feel like. And as the parents, it's just a free for all, I hope. Either your parents were really, really strict with everything because you have to be with 14, or they were just like, you know what, guys, fuck it. I don't really care. Go ahead, do it. That would be my parenting style. So anyway, I'm seeing Terry write on Facebook. How does a person sign up for a personal reading? So I only announce my appointment availabilities when we open the calendar. I open it month by month so that we only have to wait a month for a session. Technically, literally only wait a month. So in order to be informed of when we are opening my calendar, you need to be on my mailing list because I only announce that to people who are signed up to receive my email newsletters. That is on my website, DeborahHanlon.com. If you'll see the little envelope icon, click on that, subscribe, wait for the confirmation email, confirm that you actually want to be on the mailing list. If you don't confirm the email, people wind up in no man's land, and that is not our issue. It's an issue with terrible constant contact, which I hate immensely. And I'm sorry to anyone. Clearly, they will not ever sponsor me because I hate them so much. However, it is the only one that we can be a part of for many other reasons with other softwares that we use. So you have to sign up for my mailing list, confirm it, and then once you're confirmed, you'll get my emails. And when Michelle opens my calendar once a month, she will say, I am opening Deborah's calendar on, let's say, Monday, October, what's today, 19th at 5 p.m. And I promise you that you need to be on that computer on my website, refreshed at 5 p.m., October 19th at 4:49 or 4:59, you need to be on refresh. And as soon as the appointments come out, you need to click. Don't get choosy. Don't go like, oh, let me check my calendar for this time. Let me see, which I know is really annoying, but this is what I hear Michelle telling people, is just pick anything and sign up. Because by the time you check it, they're gone. They are gone in 5 minutes, which is absurd to me. However, if I didn't do this month by month, I would have probably by now a 5-year waiting list, which is stupid. I'm intuitive and I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 days, let alone 5 years. So that is how you get awareness of how to book an appointment. If you don't get it, I truly believe that when it's your time, it's your time. And I know that sounds stupid. And I don't even just mean that for my own appointments. I mean that for everything in life. But, I hear so many people that are like, I never get it. This is bullshit. Your system is rigged. My friend gets it. And then people get very, very angry at myself and Michelle. And I always feel like those people who are getting angry, I feel like the universe is protecting me from, because I love that you want a session so bad, but I also feel like just kind of relax into it. It's not one of those things that you'll get immediately that first month, or you might. Either way, you will get your time when you're supposed to. That much I do know. I've seen it all over and over and over where that happens. So that is how you book an appointment. So yes, Terry, thank you for asking that question. Hey, Bob, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I haven't really seen you on Facebook. I don't know why that is, but good to see you joining on here tonight. So let's go to some of your not personal intuitive questions, but your overall, like, what's going on in your lives that you're like, I need some more understanding of how this works. So it's not personal intuitive questions, it's more generalized, if that makes sense. And Sharon, that is an amazing testament to your parents. She said, Sharon, who's one of 14, said, I don't know how they did it, but I know we were all loved. How freaking cool is that? 7 girls, 7 boys. Sharon lived in a home of, honestly, as a mother, when you first become a mother, for those of you who are parents, you have all this, I'm going to do this with them. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure this, I'm going to make sure that. And then life happens and it may or may not actually come to pass. But the one thing I have stayed consistent with my own self as a mother is I just want them to know how much I love them, how valuable they are. So to hear someone who is one of 14, that speaks volumes about your parents, Sharon. So that's pretty cool. Amazing, actually. Hello, Patricia. Hello. So does anyone have any like generalized questions that they want to kind of talk about or get some insight on? Not any, again, not specific intuitive. Those I throw in every once in a while. That's usually when I see the numbers drop, like, oh, she's not answering personal questions. I'm going to leave. And I'm always like, oh, you'll learn so much if you hear the rest of this. So Kai is asking what my take on channeling is. So, I don't like the word channeling because it often is associated with, again, this weird world. And I don't think what I do is weird. I think it's actually normal, believe it or not, for all of us. And it just takes a level of intention and attention to plug into different consciousnesses other than ourselves. And that does not feel weird to me at all. That's normal to me. So channeling, the word channeling often to me makes me feel of like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, and anyone who kind of makes connecting with any person on the other side or any higher energy, spirit, intuition, whatever, almost as weird. So putting that aside, putting that association aside, channeling is basically the ability to be the vehicle. That's why we're the medium. We're the medium. We're in the middle of those on the other side and the physical people here. So we are bringing through information, and therefore we're channeling the information. When meditation, this is a fun fact about meditation, is that there have never been 2 meditations that I've ever repeated in the 15 years that I've been doing guided meditation. And the reason why that is because I channel the actual meditation based on everyone who's present. So collectively, we are co-creating the meditation that we are experiencing together. And since no 2 groups have ever been the same, it's never been the same meditation, because collectively the group is different. The meditation is going to be different. So channeling is just basically being the vehicle of information that you may or may not know where it's coming from. And in my readings, I might say to you, like, I don't know who's telling me this, or I might say, I'm feeling this, I'm getting this information from your energy field. Or I'll say, yeah, your grandmother's telling me this, or your husband, or your mom, or your dad, or your son or daughter. I will say specifically who it's from, or I might not know who it's from, where it's coming from. But all of that is channeling. All of it is channeling information. But I rarely use the phrase channeling simply because of the weird associations that we may have about it. And I'm the first one to talk about how weird mediumship is, which I know is weird because that's how most of you know me. I hate the title medium. I think it's weird. Honestly, like if I heard someone was a medium as a medium, I would be like, oh, fuck, okay, what's their deal? You know, like I'm very judgmental and I know that's not right. I'm just saying it like it is because it tends to be a very odd group that claims mediumship. Not everyone. I don't think I'm weird, but maybe others do. I don't know. And if you do, I don't want to hear it. I don't really care. But it's one of those weird dynamics. Does that help? Does that make sense? Um, let's see. I know they don't like that would because it defines as separate. So clarify that for me, Kai, as I go on to the next question. Oh, okay. Happened to me and felt beautiful. Yeah, when you're the channel, when you're the medium, when you're the vessel of information coming through, and when we can be self-honest, and this is why I'm always big about like truth is higher than love and self-honesty and authenticity, because I do feel like that helps messages come through. Because if you as the medium can say, I have no idea what I'm talking about, or I don't know who's telling me this, or I don't know why I feel this, that is showing me as a medium that ego is taken out. Because there is this propensity to want to be all-knowing, and I catch myself in it. And then I realize, oh no, I don't know shit. Like I'm pretty good. I know stuff, but then I live life too and I don't know anything. And I get caught in the same stuff, the same trials and tribulations of life. So I think the human ego in mediumship is extremely important to keep it in check. Otherwise, you become this person that thinks they know everything when it's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. We're still human. So I hope that helps. Does that make sense? Yes. So it does feel beautiful as long as you can be self-honest. You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to know what you're talking about. You just have to keep the integrity of the message that's coming through as you're feeling it. So Maria is asking, do you feel that texting rather than talking on the phone has a tendency to hurt relationships? This is a really great question. I am a known and notorious friend I will never talk to on the phone. I do not talk on the phone. Anyone who calls me or say, hey, call me later, I always say, I will not call you later if you're my friend. If you are my friend, what comes with me in the negative aspect is I will never chit chat with anybody on the phone. I hate it. I don't feel like I waste time. I don't like to sit still. I like to be productive, and a casual conversation to me makes me feel drained. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just calling it like it is. All my good friends on here know, don't call her. She's not, I'm not your friend to call on the phone when you just want to chit chat. If you're dying, call me. I got you. If you're dead, definitely call me. I'll totally got you. But it takes a big emergency for me to chit chat with anyone on the phone. So for me personally, I want texting. I'm not doing more than that. If you want more than that, I tell my friends I'm not the friend for you. And go ahead, they will chime in. I see some of them on here. They will say, yeah, no, she's totally for real on that. However, yes, I do feel like texting definitely has a tendency to hurt relationships. Texting or messaging on Facebook, you can't hear the way people are saying something, and human nature in communication, we are really dependent on facial cues and intonation of our voice. So if I've noticed, if on say Facebook, social media, if someone makes a statement and I want to know, like, oh, what made them say that, or what life experiences comes from them, and I genuinely want to know, like, oh, why do you feel that way? I will type in, oh, why do you feel that way? And I realize, oh, that sounds super, super antagonistic. I don't mean it antagonistically, because if I was antagonistic, I would say, hey, you dumb, why do you feel that way? But I'm not writing it that way, but they don't know me. They don't know me that way. No, I won't write you dumb fuck. I want to, but I won't. So intonation is really important. So yes, I do feel that talking on the phone is definitely better, but I'll never do it. I'll never do it. know that's not socially acceptable. I know it's not right. I hate it. I'd rather die. I feel like I'm chained to something. I don't find cell phones very comfortable with the ear. Then I have to put you on speaker. Then my whole house hears everything. I'm a bottom line person. I need to be learning something, giving something, or receiving something at every moment. There's no casualness to my being at all, which sucks for people around me. But I'm just like, bottom line, what am I gaining? What am I giving? What am I learning? If I don't feel like there's anything, I can't do it. I just can't. Like, if you're going to chit chat, like, oh, did you see The Bachelor? I'd be like, I'm out. I'm out. Nope. Never saw a show. I know there's something with roses. I can't. What'd you think of that book? Liked it. That's why I like reading. I don't like talking about reading. I like actual reading. That's how I am. I'm so high strung. People don't believe me, but I'm super high strung with that. So I hope that helps, Maria. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Patricia's saying for the past week I've had a number of electronic mishaps. Is this a retrograde thing? This is a good topic. Many years ago, I had an astrologer tell me, oh my God, why did you buy your car during this week? It was Mercury retrograde. And see, she sent a shiver of panic into my soul. And I'm intuitive and I feel my way through things, and I don't like big purchases like that. I don't take lightly. So I do a lot of my research, and when I actually buy, like, say, a car, something big like that, it's not ever frivolous. I've been doing a lot of work before it. And I bought this car. I was newly separated. I wasn't divorced. I was newly separated. And then, so it was a little scary for me to buy a car on my own, having to raise 3 children on my own, knowing that I'm leaving my marriage, or I was out of our house, and I'm providing completely for myself. I have my own business. Very scary time for me is what I'm trying to say. And then this astrologer, who I think is brilliant and wonderful, said, oh my God, why did you sign the paperwork during Mercury retrograde? You are going to have nothing but problems with that car. And I flashed back to my early childhood where I had a single mother who had to provide for myself, and she had nothing but problems with her car. And I thought, oh my God, that's what happened to my mother. She bought her car or gained her cars during Mercury retrograde, and that's why we all fell to shit. And so I had the fear of God put into me because of Mercury retrograde. And then I got really pissed. Okay, in Deborah fashion, I got really pissed. Like, I hate Mercury retrograde. I hate the concept of it. I hate the topic of it. I hate that we talk about it. I hate that we blame this astrological event of why our lives get screwed up. I hate it because it's very unempowering to me. And this is Deborah. This is how I work. Don't you dare take away my power. I will find it somewhere else. That is my MO. That is what I want to give to other people. That is what I want to share. That is what I want to ignite in all of us. And then we have astrology and astrologists saying Mercury retrograde, you're basically fucked for the next 3 weeks or however long it lasts. So, I do believe the collective, when we put enough energy and awareness behind something, we create the dynamic around it. So when we keep hearing Mercury retrograde, collectively, we're all starting to get this memo of communications and electronics are going to be totally screwed. Don't sign contracts because you're going to be on the opposite end of whatever you signed for. I don't like it. I don't like it at all because to me, where's the proof? I'm all about the proof. Where's the proof of that? Because once you plant that seed in me, I believe it, and then I play out the proof. So is it retrograde? I think it's retrograde if you think it's retrograde. But I resist against Mercury retrograde like there's no tomorrow. Maybe I will die, and those on the other side will say, Deb, you had a pretty cool, you had your hand on the pulse of humanity, and you were pretty intuitive and spot on about a lot of things, but man, did you screw up the retrograde thing? That was true. You screwed it up. you've got another 12,000 lifetimes to come through, I'm going to be pissed about it. I'm not going to lie. But no, I don't want to subscribe to Mercury retrograde. It's kind of like, to me, the same thing of like black cat walks across your path, or don't open an umbrella inside. It's along the lines of superstition to me. And I'm glad this is coming up, Patricia. I really am, because I do think we're more affected. I know I am. That was 8 or 9 years ago that I had the whole car incident, which, by the way, I never had an issue with the car. I still, as soon as I hear Mercury retrograde, I'm like, oh God. I had to sign court papers recently, and I'm like, is it Mercury retrograde? Because I'm not doing it. And I'm like, really, Deb? Really? So it really does affect our psyche. And I think anything that affects our psyche, we need to examine and look at, and kind of bring us back to reality of like, hang on a second. Is it my belief about the power of retrograde, or is it actually the power of retrograde? My hypothesis is it's our belief about it that is what's going to play it out. That's a long answer to that. But it's an important one, because I freak out about that all the time. How often does it come? Every 3 months or every 4 months? I feel like it's every other day, by the way. And it's all over Instagram, all over Facebook. And I'm like, here we go. I'm in the retrograde cave. I'm leaving now. I'm just going to rock in a corner. And that's it. That's how I'm going to handle Mercury retrograde. Instead, I'm just going to handle it by eating a cake. I don't know, cookie dough. Anyway. Let's see. Okay, Janine is asking, do people have a choice whether or not they want to go, or can they get a second chance? That's a great question. For 20 years of doing and connecting with the other side and doing what I do and getting plugged in and listening intently to every single session I have, not only for the person that's receiving the information, but I listen intently for patterns within all of the sessions. And for 20 years, I hear, when it's your time, it's your time. That you cannot change when we go, but we can change how we go. And there's a big difference. So if your day, and I always put this in the past because I don't want to project it out to the universe, but if my day to die was October 18th, 2020, I couldn't avoid that. But I can change how. So either I will pass in a car accident on October 18th, 2020, or I will pass of heart disease, or I will pass of choking on something, or slipping in the tub, having a heart attack. Who knows? There's a bajillion ways of passing. So I have the choice over the quality of my life up until the end versus the quantity of my life. We do not have the choice of the quantity of life or the time frame of when it's our time to go. We do have the choice of our quality of life. So do we want to eat poorly, not exercise, never do any introspective work, and live in this hump and heap of depression and sadness? Do we want to live that way, or do we want to live with, let me challenge my own thoughts, let me rise above my own shit thinking, and let me push myself into a different realm of living that we have control over? People who have come back and said they were given a chance, I do believe that was not quite literal. It's not quite literal that they are said, hey, you can stay or you can go. And most actually choose to cross over. Because once you feel that feeling of crossing over, you're not going to want to come back. You're just not. So I do feel like you're kind of given the choice to almost be under the illusion of a choice. But I don't really think there is an actual choice of whether we stay or go. We have a time, we have a place, and that's it. We can just change how we pass. So I hope that answers that. Do you believe our pets are meant to be with us specifically? I believe my dog was sent to me from God to comfort me and be my constant companion when I was lonely and sad. Totally. Now, pre-Baker, our dog, I got the pet thing. I liked cats, and I've had cats, and I've had deep connection to cats, but never with dogs. Never with dogs, because my dad had dogs. They drooled on me when I ate. They laid in the bed with me, put hair all over everything, and these were not my dogs, and therefore I was not connected with them, so I was pretty grossed out by dogs. Not pretty, very grossed out by dogs. Hated them. Never understood why would someone want a dog. And then we got Baker in January of 2019. No, 2020. And I don't know what it is about Baker, but the minute I saw him in the Humane Society with my oldest son, Jack, I was like, we're taking him home. And Jack, who knows me quite well, hating dogs, was like, what? I'm like, we're taking him home. We got into the Humane Society and out with our dog in 25 minutes. We did all of the application. They had to call the vet. They had to see Greg's dog, if Greg's dog had all of the proper vaccinations. 25 minutes we were out of there. Paid, got, I don't know. I love Baker like I've never loved anything before. So yes, I absolutely do believe that our pets are meant to be with us specifically. I do not think that any dog could have done this, but it had to be Baker. So yes, pets are meant to be with us specifically. And it's mutual. We're both learning love back and forth for sure. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Marnie. Marnie's saying, I read Mercury is in retrograde and it sure has felt like it, but when isn't it? That's the other thing. What we start to do is we start to think everything is Mercury retrograde. So like if it happens to be Mercury retrograde, then we're like, oh, that's why it's beyond my control. But if it's not, we're like, oh, shoot, what's going on? So I just don't like the whole Mercury retrograde thing. And astrologers will completely disagree with me, and I totally get it. I just don't like the whole philosophy behind it. I really don't. You feed the human mind something and you base it on fact and theory, and the human mind will plant that seed, and it is very, very difficult to pull out the weeds of that seed. So I still have remnants of freaking Mercury retrograde from 2012, 11, 12 time frame. It still pisses me off. Every single whatever cycle it comes in, I'm like, here we go, Mercury retrograde. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Maybe I should believe it this time. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should challenge it. Yeah, it's too much thinking over something I don't know enough about. Michelle is asking, can a person who has passed away not totally cross over if they have a lot of remorse? Oh my God, Michelle, that is an amazing, perfect question. No, anyone whose body ceases to function, the soul will leave the body. And finally, what happens is we realize, oh my God, we are not our body. We are not our identity is not who we identified our body to be with. Therefore, the stories and conditioning that body came with are not our true self. So no, they will not cross over because of remorse, because that remorse has died with the body. However, if there have been actions that they have taken towards someone or against themselves that has rendered them remorseful, when they get reborn into the next lifetime, that is definitely a theme they need to come back up and work on to move past that lesson or experience. So our souls come into this life for different, we often hear them as lessons, but I don't really like that word, because it makes me feel like we're here to learn a lesson as if we've done something wrong. And we need to wipe away that context of like, well, I guess it's my lesson. I needed to learn this. I needed to learn that. And instead of changing the word, instead of using the word lessons, I like to change the word to experiences. These are the experiences our soul needed to have or to experience, versus these are the lessons we had to learn, because it sounds like punishment to be honest. So these are the experiences. And when we can start seeing things as experiences, we can start relating to them as just experiences and not more or less. So no, so yes, a person who has passed away, no, I guess no. A person who has passed away, not totally cross over. No, they will totally cross over. They will be reconnected with their true self, which is completely flawless, completely the same flawlessness in me, in you, in that person, in all of humanity is present. So we get restored to that truth with a capital T of who we are. We were never our body and our identity and all the roles we played out to begin with. And that's why death is so liberating, because we finally realize, oh my God, there was so much more to me than just X, Y, and Z. My, Deborah, mother of 3 sons and a medium. There's way more to me than those 3 identities and anything I can identify myself with. Way more to me, way more to you. So they will not be suffering with remorse, but that lesson or that experience that they had here that was not resolved will show up in our next lifetime. However, we might be, or probably are, living a previous lifetime's experiences or unresolved experiences now, which is why we might have certain difficulties in this lifetime that we have to really rise above. We have to go, I'm getting this one this time because I don't want to repeat this one. I hear myself say that all the time. Like, I'm not repeating this. I got to get this so I can move on from this. So the next lifetime, this is not my shit. This is not what I'm coming through to learn anymore. So that's a great question. So thank you for that. Don't forget to click like if you're on Facebook, like follow me on Facebook. Don't forget to click thumbs up and subscribe on YouTube if you're joining me on YouTube. I place most of my attention onto YouTube. So for those of you who are watching me on Facebook, if you want to really make sure that I see your question, pop onto YouTube. It's Intuitive Medium Deborah Hanlon on YouTube. Let's see. Jen understands my angst on the phone. So thank you for that. Sue's asking, what does it mean when our loved ones in spirit is angry with us during a dream? What's the difference between a dream and a visitation? Great question. I do answer this one quite often. I've probably got it about 30 times on here. But because it comes up, it means that people need to know this. So I'm glad you're asking. I call them a visitation dream versus a projection dream. A visitation dream is when your loved one on the other side comes to you, whether you knew them or not. Could be a great-great-grandparent, or it could be your friend's mother's brother, sister's friend that comes through, but you identify who they are. They come to you in a dream. They're typically dressed in all white or something you can identify with them. They're very peaceful. They're happy. They're telling you they're still here. They don't understand why you think they're dead. It's a very pleasant experience. That's a visitation dream. A projection dream is anything that feels unpleasant. It's the angry, I'm angry at you, I'm angry at myself, I shouldn't have died, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I don't want to talk to you, I'm falling away, I can't hear you. Any dream that feels very unsettling with a deceased person at the, is like the main star of the dream type of thing. That's a projection dream. What I mean by projection is all of your grief, anxieties, fears, concerns about life are being projected onto the person who's deceased. So it might be someone you know very well who's deceased and they're angry and upset, or it might be someone you don't know at all and they're coming through and they're angry and upset. But it's usually, or not usually, it is your projection of your own grief and sadness and fears that are getting projected as if they're that person's. Because the person on the other side who passes is never afraid, angry, or upset. That is human stuff. That is not spirit stuff. That is not the other side or energy, pure energy self. This is why I don't do ghost hunts. I hear radio doing it all the time. I could have a mailing list of 100,000 by this point if I subscribe to the whole paranormal ghost hunting factor. And I'm not taking away from that. I do think paranormal capturing of actual paranormal events is very cool and valuable, but I will not subscribe to the whole ghost hunt. Oh, this is a haunted house. They're angry with us. Oh, they scratched my back. Oh, they're upset. They threw the candle down. They told us to leave. That's shtick. That's all shtick to get more viewers, and I'd have a ton more viewers if I followed that train of thought, which I will not. I will not. That's too, it's fear-based is what it is. It makes people scared. And so when we're scared, we tend to engage more because we're fearful. And we think that if the more we know, the more we can fend off. But to me, it's psychological warfare, and I hate it. I've done radio, what do we call them on Q92 in Albany? I can't think of it, but I was very clear with them. Like, I'm not selling fear here. If I pick up on energies and I get messages from those energies, I will relay those energies. But if you want me to pretend that this is like a haunted, creepy place, I will not do it. And thankfully, that particular radio station with Brian and Chrissy, they're now on, oh my God. They're in Albany on the Country's Channel. I'm totally drawing a blank right now, but that's just because I've been in quarantine for too long. But their integrity is on point because they're not trying to sell fear. They're trying to sell and give actual information about the other side. So when you hear those ghost hunts on TV or radio, you can be entertained by them, but please know that they're fake. Please. And I am going to get a shitstorm tomorrow by a couple local. But yeah, if you're selling fear, there's something going on within yourself that you need to be empowered, and you're empowered through making other people scared. And that's your own shit. And I encourage anyone who's doing that to look at themselves. But anyway, that's the difference between a visitation dream and a projection dream. Melissa said, did you know that Whoopi Goldberg is very intuitive in real life? I did not know that. I would, now seeing that, I wouldn't not expect that, although I've never met her and I don't know much about her, so I did not know that. Jillian, in a group of mediums, is it possible for one person to connect with someone on the other side, but the other mediums don't? Do you feel that everyone would feel the same energy? Great question. Yes, I do feel that some mediums would pick up on some people and others would pick up on others. I have worked, I've never done a group, like two mediums in one group, and I have no desire to. I've been approached many times. I'm kind of an asshole where I'm like, yeah, I work alone because I like the integrity of the way I do things, which might make me an a-hole, might make me a perfectionist. Either way, it's the way I go. Unless John Edward or James Von Prague wanted to call me, then I might respond. However, I have been with other mediums who I revere dear to my heart, and we in the same room at my center, we did one twice a year with Shireen, and she would often pick up on different messages from the same person I would connect with. So yeah, it is definitely possible. However, I do often get people that said, Deborah, a medium told me that my so-and-so is really unhappy and they're struggling, and I just had this the other day. And I don't want to discredit other mediums by any means, because that makes me sound almost like I'm competing, and I'm totally not. However, if a medium is making you upset by a message of your loved one, by saying that they on the other side are not resolved with something, or they are upset or angry with something, that is usually a projection of the medium's understanding of how emotion and energy works on the other side. And I would question it, because when we die, logically speaking, we are no longer our human selves. And so therefore we are not bound to the limitations that come with being human. So therefore, if we're not bound to our limitations, it means we're entering into a complete free space of being, which is known as our true self. And if we're in our true self, why would we be angry or upset or afraid? So that's the stuff I would super highly question a person bringing messages through. Let's see. See, all of you are like the same on the phone. Yep. See, Patricia saying a friend warned her about Mercury retrograde. It's really like so draining. Andy is saying, let me know what my date is. I think I missed it as far as when we're going to go. I get that. I get that totally, Andy. Janine says, I hate the way that my father passed. I hate to think he chose that way. It's why I can't understand it. The choosing of the way we pass is not that we may consciously or unconsciously choose it. So when I say that we can change how we pass, not when we pass, it still may be unconscious. It doesn't mean we are consciously choosing the way we pass. It's better to be in the conscious realm of choosing how we pass, but that doesn't mean we are. So if we happen to live this very healthy lifestyle, and it's just the way it is, maybe unconsciously we're choosing a healthy lifestyle. It could go work in the positive, or we're just not taking care of ourselves and we don't really know why. That's unconsciously choosing the way we pass. So unless it's blatant suicide, we don't necessarily consciously choose our passing. And even in suicide, it may not be totally conscious, if that makes sense. Let's see. Ooh, will our people who pass know all of our terrible secrets on the other side? Because that sucks. I like the way you wrote that, Jennifer. Yes, they will. And I know people get really uncomfortable with this. When we cross over, we are in this space of knowing with a capital N. But the difference between that knowing versus us knowing with a capital N is that there is zero judgment attached and zero shame, zero guilt, zero anger, zero sadness. Nothing is attached to it. It just is. So let me take this to the extreme. And we all know this is an extreme, and I'm being a little facetious with this example. So anyone who wants to come down hard on me later on, asking me why I'm backing up people who kill people, I am not. Let me just put that out there. And if you hear that I'm pro-murder, then that's your shit and not mine. Because I do get emails from this, and it's really fun to listen to them. Anyway, so say you killed somebody, right? And you have kept that a deep, dark, ugly secret. When they pass, they will know, oh, yep, you did it. They know it. But they know the psychology of what led you there to do that. So there's no judgment there. And this is when people don't like this, because it's sort of like, well, it's right and wrong. And I agree, murder would be wrong. I'm going to completely put that out there. Not right, not good. Someone who feels they need to kill someone is clearly not in a good space, whether they do it purposely or accidentally. That's my disclaimer. I am not encouraging it by any means. But when we die, say that's your deep, deep, dark, dirty secret, they will know, yep, you did it. You're the one, but they know what led up to it. Maybe it's a lapse in judgment. Maybe your mind is not there. Maybe you go mad and, emotionally you respond. Maybe it's, that whole plea of insanity or whatever. Whatever it is that caused someone to do something so terrible or so secretive, they're not judging it. They're not sitting up there like, oh shit, she is in trouble. They're not doing that. That's human. That's a human response. That's where we have to remember that we're human with limitations, thoughts, and beliefs that condition us to behave and believe and in a certain way. That's not the full story. There's no right and wrong in the way we behave. It just, we place right and wrong on it, but there's a bigger picture here. So yes, they will know all of our terrible secrets, but they will not be in a place of judgment. Now, what does that do to us? It could do one of two things. It can make us really sick to our stomachs thinking, oh my God, I've been outed and they're shaming me. But really what you're left with is your own shame or guilt around something. And that's where I would work with you, or someone could work with you on what residual shame, guilt, sadness, anger, whatever is coming from you that you need to deal with. Because if there's something you don't want someone to know, that means you're harboring a lot of shame, guilt, sadness, or anger around something and more things. And that's where the real work comes in. So that's why I take the stuff from the other side and I bring it into the day to day, because that's a perfect example of like, what are we trying to stuff down and avoid within ourselves that we are trying to like deny, that we are living with, that's kind of coming to the surface, but we don't know what to do with. That's where my work is. For sure. A lot of my work. I did just read something about the full moon, for those of you who are bringing up the full moon, and why the full moon does, oh God, I'm going to have to remember where I even saw this reading, that there is something to the fact that a full moon is bringing a certain amount of energy, but it's also because the moon is tied to the oceans and the tides. And because we're mostly water, there was a whole cool thing about the full moon. So I don't disagree. The full moon could lead to additional heightened anxiety for sure. And I think it's on an energetic, because of we're mostly made of water type basis, versus some astrologers saying this is the planetary layout and therefore you're screwed. Because why does Mercury retrograde, why do they say like, hey, it wreaks havoc on electronics? Well, electronics are new within the last 100 years. So what did they say it wreaked havoc on 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 800 years ago? And I don't know that answer. I am not an astrologer. So maybe an astrologer will say, yes, Deborah, actually, this, and this. So please enlighten me. Nicely. Let's see. Sharon, I was married 25 years to my best friend. We met on a blind date at 17, stayed in contact as friend, married at 29 for almost 25 years. My question is, why can't I feel him or a sign? Makes total sense. I'm glad you asked it, because most people can't feel their loved ones, but somehow we find ourselves in the company of people who go, oh my God, I knew that my husband was with me 14 seconds after he passed, or I knew my mom was there. And I'm not diminishing those experiences by any means. I'm a medium. I get it. However, sometimes when we share how quickly we felt our loved one, that is not helpful information. That is not empathetic. That is not compassionate, because grief will block any form of connection or communication from the other side. So do not think that your spouse is not around you or not connecting and contacting with you. It's that you are so overcome with the reality that he is physically not there. And so that is where your mind is wired for right now. And allow yourself to be in that space. Because the more you allow yourself to be in that space, you will deal with your guilt or your shame, not your shame, your grief around their passing. And guilt comes up hand in hand with passing. You'll deal with all of that. And as you deal with that, you'll soften it. And then once you soften it, the connection becomes more apparent. So for those of you who do not feel their loved ones around you, it does not mean they're not okay. It does not mean they don't want to talk to you. It doesn't mean something went wrong. It doesn't mean they didn't cross over. It doesn't mean anything other than you're going through something difficult, period. And then there's something to do with your wiring. If you are wired to be a very logically minded person, you will probably feel them less because you're looking for very, very specific signs. So in that case, if you're looking for specific signs, I would tell you to just open yourself up to, tell them like, hey, thank you for showing up. Thank you for making me know you're around. That's, that way it's open-ended. And that way you'll know like, oh my God, I got this like little, I call them winks, these winks. But I hear more from people like, I don't feel them. I have family member. I was just thinking about my Aunt Joan recently. My Aunt Joan was 5'11". She was my height. I had a major medical procedure based on something she told me back when I was 14 that kind of showed up in my life. And I thought, oh my God, my Aunt Joan told me about this. I'm going to listen to her and take care of it before it becomes a problem. And I was thinking of her a lot. And I was like, Aunt Joan, thank you. Where are you? And I'm like, Aunt Joan, are you there? Aunt Joan, are you there? What the hell? I can't feel her. And I don't know what that is. I can't feel her. I can't grab her. I can't get her on the line. I can't call her up. I don't know what it is. But I know that it's not that she's not there. It's just something going on within me, and what I'm expecting to feel, my expectations, my anticipations. And if I'm supposed to feel her, I will feel her. And there's no grief involved. Like, not that I'm not sad, but I wasn't raised with her. We weren't very close. I mean, it's not a grief stricken situation for me. I know what it is for my cousins and her children. But for me, it is not a grief stricken situation. So grief is not getting in my way. Something else is. What is it? I don't know. But my logical mind is like, Aunt Joan, are you there? Do you hate me? What's going on? And my intuitive self is like, she's there, Deb. She hears you. She gets it. It's fine. Your human self is not getting back what you're looking for. So it's totally normal. Let's see. Yes, WGNA. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, Greg made a mention before. If you want to do a family or group session with me, I do those on Zoom. All my one-to-one appointments are currently just on the phone only appointments. However, if you have a group of 5 or up to 10, at least 5, no more than 10, it could be family. I prefer mostly family, but it could be friends too. I do those appointments via Zoom. So we're all on the call together in Zoom, and those are hand scheduled. So those you don't have to wait as long. I mean, maybe you do because my schedule and your schedules don't match up. But we hand schedule those. You don't have to wait for an appointment to open up online. So if you want more of a group session with your family or friends, please email my office, info@beingknowingdoing.com, so that you can say, hey, tell me more about this group Zoom session, the rates and the times available. I usually do them Sunday mornings, some Sunday mid mornings, sometimes Monday evenings before for this. So that's usually my time frame for that. But I do have openings during the weekday mornings as well, but a lot of times large groups don't all have that time frame. So if you're interested in that, just email my office for information availability. Okay, let's see. Maria's asking, do you know how the term passed away came to be? I do not. I've never even thought about it, Maria. Passed away. I never even passed away and crossing over. I hate the term crossing over, or I hate the term on the other side, even though I use it, because they're not on another. And when we say on the other side, that makes me feel like they're somewhere where I'm not. And that's not accurate at all. It's quite the opposite. They're right here with us. But I don't know where the term passing away came to be. So I'll have to look that up. Andy is saying, as a paramedic, I could tell you I hated full moon shifts. So there is something with full moons, hospitals, issues with health and teachers. I know I used to be a teacher and I also hated the full moon. Let's see. For a long time, I was convinced I couldn't feel my mom because I always said I was doing what she wanted because I didn't want her to haunt me. But then I went to one of the galleries and learned that's not why. Good. Oh my goodness, fun time. Let's see. Let me see what Facebook's got going on here. Hello, Carol. Hello, Michael. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Heather, Patricia, Kathy. There's a lot of you over here. Heather, Tammy, Lisa, Laura, Christy. Oh, you guys are all good. Okay, here's a good question from also Michelle. Can an evil or bad entity attach itself to as a child and follow you into adulthood? Absolutely, positively, nope, no way. And I like this question. You're asking some really good ones tonight. I have been to intuitives, mediums, whatever you want to call them, and they've talked about entities attached. And I sit there and I have murderous thoughts towards them, not the entities, but the medium. And I have read more people than I care to mention who come to me that said, I've been to a medium who said I have an entity attached and they will get rid of them for me, for an additional $1,000 or whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And my blood boils out of my mind when I hear that. Absolutely boils. So if any medium, I don't care who it is. I don't care if you've crossed over in St. Peter at the pearly gates, which I'm not sure I believe in St. Peter, the pearly gates. I'm using them as examples, so don't hold me to the religious whatever about it. But if he tells you up, I'm not letting you in because you got this entity attached to you, you question him. Question anybody who talks about evil spirits and entities. Please, 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 you guys do me that favor. I go bonkers with this. No, there is no such thing as evil entities, no such thing as negative energies, and no such thing as them being able to attach themselves to you. Why does this boil my blood? For a million reasons. One, it's selling fear, and that person is empowering themselves, that medium or whoever's telling you this is empowering themselves over you to try to make themselves feel better, like, hey, I can help you with this nasty evil. I always picture the Mucinex commercial guy, by the way, when people talk about evil entities, I picture the Mucinex guy. Like, no, the Mucinex guy is not sitting on you, and that's why your life turned to shit. I can promise you that, okay? But I hear this all the time. And when we are vulnerable in a spot, it is a very believable tale that kind of is relieving because we go, oh, good, it's not me. It's not me. It's this terrible Mucinex guy attached to me. Thank God. How do I get rid of him? Because I'd really like to find love in my life. And that person will say, I'm just going to, just let me burn a candle and you just pay me $1,000. I'm going to burn a candle. I'm going to do a prayer on them. You tell them to go fuck themselves. Okay. Please, spiritually speaking, love and light, all that shit. But please, guys, please, please, please hear me out on this. Makes me crazy because I hear you. You come to me and I got to undo this scariness. That is unempowering. You are the most powerful energy of your own lives than myself or anyone else ever can have. You have all the power in your own hands and heart and spirit and energy. My job is to help you see that, not for you to see my power over you. That is for damn sure. So don't go anyone who says, you got this nasty thing, let me help you remove it. Don't go to them. What it is, in my opinion, is we have negative conditioning, negative experiences in our past, negative thoughts, negative beliefs, negative occurrences that can be sometimes so buried so deep within us that we begin to live life as if this negativity within us is normal. So, sometimes people will feel like, I feel like I'm being watched all the time. I've heard this. This is a thing. And when I work with the person, I go, okay, like your psyche is feeling that there is something that is not you. It's very negative, but it's making you do negative things. That is a psychological attachment to some negativity at some point in your life, or a psychological attachment to a belief that someone else placed on you. And so it is not an entity. It is born within yourself, and it is nourished within your own thinking. And that's the cool news. Why? Why is that so cool? Because if you created it and you nourished it with your own thoughts and beliefs, you can also be done with it. And you're the one who can say, I'm done. If there's a negative outside entity attached to you, you're powerless. You can't do shit because you can't feel them. You can't see them. You don't know what to do. A candle's not going to do it, because if a candle could do it, a candle would have done it 25 years ago. No spell, no prayer. None of that is going to remove an entity. So I hear this. I can't tell you how often I hear this. And some people will hear me out and go, I'm so relieved to say that. Other people will say, no, Deborah, there's an entity. And really, quite honestly, not being facetious, not being rude, when you firmly believe there's a negative entity attached to you or attracted to you, that is a doorway to mental illness. And you can't escape that. And that is no putting down of mental illness. I'm all about mental illness. I get it. But it's a doorway into mental illness. So do not let anyone open that doorway for you. And if you are feeling that way, if you're feeling incredibly paranoid that there's something or someone that has more power over you, that is an opportunity to get some expert help on that. But I can promise you it's not spirit in nature. It's thought in nature. It's your experience in nature. It's really important to me, as you can see, because people are coming to me terrified, or my own identity is then lumped into with people who tell people this. And then when you say, oh, she's Deborah Hanlon, she's a medium, people are like, oh, really? Ooh, she's probably incredibly screwed up. And maybe they think that anyway, I don't know, but I it's not for those reasons. It's not for those reasons. So please, 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 please never unempower yourselves. You are way more connected, way more empowered and powerful of your own life. And some things we all need tweaking on. I teach an energy transformation awareness. I brought this up in the beginning of this, where I can kind of highlight some of those, I call them core beliefs, or they are called, it's not like I coined that phrase, core beliefs of where these beliefs originated from and how we can wipe the slate clean and release ourselves from this. But I promise you, no such thing as negative entity. One of my favorite stories, it's true, and it's a true story, but it is also funny, so it makes me sound like I'm being funny. I am, but I'm not. Is many years ago, a woman came to me and said, there's a negative energy in my house, an entity in my house, and it is sapping all the energy, and it's making us all miserable and sick in here. And I'm sitting there, and I knew this woman kind of well. We worked together, so it's not like I saw her just one time for a session, but she brought this up. And I'm sitting there, and I start going like, yeah, no, I agree. There's definitely negative energy in your house. And but I'm not saying that out loud. I'm like, oh, I know what it is. I know what this is. And she kept going on and on. It's like, it's in this particular room, and it's taking all the air, and none of us can breathe, and we're all getting sick, and we're all very anxious every time in our house. And I'm sitting there like, yeah. And she's like, what do you think it is? I go, oh, no, I know what it is. It's your alcoholic husband. He's a miserable bastard, and he is sucking the energy out of your house. That wasn't even necessarily intuitive. That was the God's honest truth. I mean, over the years, she has explained that she had this very mean, miserable, alcoholic spouse. And now someone told her that this entity was coming through the mirrors in her house, and she now thought, oh, good. I'm going to go with that storyline instead of having to deal with the fact that I'm enabling this alcoholic in my home. And no, I get it. Enabling happens, and sometimes it's all we know to do. However, it's very unempowering, because I would much rather know that the negative energy in my home is my alcoholic spouse, although I'll kill you if you become an alcoholic spouse, Greg. But I would much rather know it's that than some creepy fucking energy coming through the mirrors, because then I'm leaving. Then I'm bolting. But this is stuff that comes up for people. This is stuff that comes up. So I'm glad you brought that question up. Big time. So thank you. And Michelle said, I've been working with someone who said I have multiple. Get rid of them. I'm sorry. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're Mother Teresa. You got to go. You got to leave them. You do not have multiple negative entities and energies attracted and attached to you. I can promise you that, Michelle. So whomever they are, you just bless them. Go with God. Thank you for the work we've done together. I appreciate you for what I have learned, but it's time to go. For real. Yeah. And you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be argumentative to it. It's just like, You got what you needed from them, but leave before they actually make you feel crazy. And that is what happens. So I'm super glad you asked that question. And like I said, I hear it all the time. I get emails, I get Facebook messages, I get it in the middle of sessions. People write to the office, and Michelle will forward me those emails saying, what do you want me to tell this person? And I will say my usual thing, no such thing. So this is something that comes up quite a lot weekly in my office. So go with God, but go. Tell that person to go with God, but go. Let's see. Why do people use sage and burn it in their house? Your thoughts on that? Cool. Like this question. Thank you, Melanie. Sage is like the go-to, like, oh my God, I'm clearing all the energies of the house. I'm going to use sage. And it become a very pop culture thing to do. And I'm not against sage. Again, in fact, hold on, I'm plugging my phone over here because it's dying. No pun intended. Hold on. Oops, that just didn't work. Okay. So sage has become pop culture and everyone's like, oh, yay, sage is clearing the energy. And again, going back to what we believe, if we believe something is clearing the energy, then it will. So my intention, I clear my home with my intention of clearing my home of any energy. I like using bells to like move. I call it like sweeping energy out of my house. Bells or sound vibration of any type will sweep the energy and move the energy, which is why you'll see bells on the door handles. Like when I was at the center, I had bells everywhere. Every time someone opened the front door, bells would ring, and that's just to clear the energy. Not that there was bad energy, it was just stagnant. I don't want stagnant energy, it was moving energy. Sage, the cool thing about that is it is a very Native American ritual, and the Native Americans associated and attached sage to negative energies, negative spirits. When someone was not well, they burned sage because they felt that the person who was not well because of this negative energy and these entities. But they also did this when someone was sick. And a lot of times when someone was sick, they believed that sickness was caused not by bacteria, but by negative energies and spirits. So they burned sage to clear the room of these negative energies and spirits. However, modern science has noticed that sage has very strong and powerful antibacterial components to it, and that it does, in fact, quite literally, clean and clear the air. So when they were burning this because someone was sick or ill, they were actually burning away all of the bacteria that may have caused them to be that way. So there is some foundational science around sage that, yeah, it's good to clear the air because it gets rid of some nasty shit, which now in this pandemic, we're all going to go burn some sage. But I personally hate the smell of sage. I don't like it. It doesn't resonate with me. I also do not like Native American artifacts. I just don't. I don't like feathers. I don't like, I love the spirituality of Native Americanism, but I do not like any of the artifacts associated with it. What do you call those things? Arrowheads and feathers and the headdresses and the animals. I don't like that. And I've been regressed many times. I have like this Native American thing. I was killed by them. I was scalped by them. So I don't like it. It's just I don't like those artifacts. So I don't like sage. However, there is a component to it that is based in actual science. So yes, Lysol versus sage, discuss. Thank you, Maria. Exactly. Let's see. An active substance abuser will suck the energy out of everyone in the house. Absolutely. Exactly, Amber. Yes. I thought I saw another question here. Hey, Dana. Hey, Marianne. I see you. Let's see. I saw you left my crazy funny mom with dementia. I went out on a corona wave. I know she's good now and smiling. Thank you. Susan, I'm sorry to hear that your mom has passed, but I'm glad that you know that she is watching over. Hello, Ted. Hello, Stephanie. Stephanie, you don't know how much you uh, are resonating and on heavily on my mind and heart and soul. So I know we don't know each other, but like your stuff pops up, and every time it does, I send you so much energy, so much love. I do hope I see you on meditation at some point, but when it's supposed to be, it will be. There's no stress or pressure about that. So on that, it is Monday night, and it is now late, so we're going to end here. But don't forget, next week I'm going to start announcing the intuitive coaching one-on-one sessions that I'm doing. I will have some sort of plan for the next wave of coaching courses that will open up, and in energy transformation awareness, which is one of my most intense, deep workshops that I offer. Deep stuff. It's about your core beliefs and your old belief systems and how that works, how that affects your energy field when we feel stuck. A lot of times this is why. So that class meets on the weekends for a good 6 to 8 weeks through Zoom. It's intense. You're going to have tissues, but it's also very fun, very informative. That will be starting in January, and it only will take somewhere between 10 and 14 people for that class, probably 10 to 12. So that's coming up. My introduction to meditation experience on Teachable, there's still a few left. I set it at 50 so that once 50 people have signed up for it, we're done. So make sure that you go do that on teachable.com. It's deborahhanlon.teachable.com. And then if you do introduction to meditation experience, you have to put in the, what's it called? The coupon code literally 50 off. That's the coupon code to get 50% off. And I think that is it. I will see you on social media on sometime or another. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. I love doing this, and I will do it as long as you guys give a shit about it. So as long as you do, I will be here. So thank you. See you next Monday. Oops. And maybe I will see you on Sunday for meditation. Please, you guys. I know I'm beating a dead horse, no pun intended, but not saying the word dead in medium. But I'm telling you, if you want to start your own process, just start there with me. So have a good night. See you next week. And again, thank you so much for sticking with me all this time. Good night. Bye.